Hey everyone, John here. I've got something exciting. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. I am your host, John Espinosa. To the Leading Leaders podcast. One thing that I love about coaching and mentoring is seeing progress, is seeing people, that light bulb moment go off when they begin to think differently about themselves and about their value to the team. And I will tell you that is one of the biggest benefits, one of the greatest things that any coach, mentor, leader can see happen. And it makes it worth it. It makes all those late nights, and it makes those meetings and everything that goes along with being a leader that is not so fun. It makes it all worth it whenever you see that checkered flag and you're in first place across that finish line. So go finish first. In life, if you never get to where you're going, what does that cause? For me, it would cause frustration. It would cause anxiety. It would cause the fear of the unknowing. Again, what I'm doing, we should be able to accomplish something. So as leaders, we need to be able to tell people where we are going so that way they know when we get there. And then we celebrate that success, right? We look back at all the hard work that was put into whatever we were doing in order to get there, and we celebrate, and we tell them thank you, and we appreciate them, and we document lessons learned so the next time that we're going, we're more efficient. So building influence means doing what you say. So as a frontline leader, why build influence? 3 reasons. It keeps people moving in a towards state. So they're not flighting, they're not running away, they're not moving away from you. They're moving towards you. And we always want people moving towards whenever we're communicating. Better decisions are made. More information is gathered, and we're focusing on ourselves. So again, it's one of those opportunities as frontline leaders that we have to focus on our thoughts, to be self-aware, and then to go out and help others, which that's what we're here to do as frontline leaders, help others get to where they're going.
Having the ability to see what you want and then actually go after it and get it, that's a feeling like none other. And once you do it once, it's like a muscle. It's easier to exercise that again and again. And so I would highly encourage you. You can start small, you can start big, but just start. That's really something that you have to do. You have to just start.
There is a minute difference between good leaders and great leaders. I'm going to say that again. There is a very small difference between good leaders and great leaders. A lot of that difference comes with consistency. The more consistent we are as leaders with the behaviors, our actions, the things that we do will begin to allow others to see that we're in it for the long haul. We're not going to leave them behind. We're there for them. Words is us and we and our. When that begins to get programmed into your vocabulary, into your everyday talk.
Resilience, right? I think that being a resilient leader is so important, right? Because we all go through challenges, we all go through hard times, and being able to adapt to change, to utilize strategies, something, as simple as just blocking off lunchtime on your calendar as a leader. Mm-hmm. That I think is really important for others to see that you're, working with, that you take that time seriously so that you could take a break, get something to eat, recharge, and get back to the workday. So there's little things like that we could do as leaders to be resilient and also to encourage others to do it as well.
There are great leaders that have gone before us. Jesse Lee was one of them. My grandmother was one of them. There are great leaders that are going to go and come behind us. But now is our time. Now is our time. Now is our time to make a difference. Now is our time to reach back. Now is our time to help others get to where they're going. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Couldn't do this without you. I told you I would start with one listener and we grow from there. And we're growing. We're growing this leadership team, and we're going to carry each other along on the leadership journey. The best is yet to come. I promise you that. I promise you. Having that leadership mindset, the culture in the organization, the mindset, that starts with us as leaders. And then how do we create that as a leader if we don't have it, or how do we sustain it as a leader and grow our inclusive work environments? A lot of great things coming to you in season 2. We're not training that next person. We're not training a group of people to take our position. We're not looking for that. And that's where mentoring and coaching come from. That's where you need to be involved. I know that frontline leaders, you got a lot of things going on. You got a lot of things on your plate, but ask yourself this question. Do you want to leave the organization? If you do, decide to leave, some people, they will stay in their positions until they retire or until they, decide to go do whatever they want to do. But do you want to leave the organization better than when you got there or when you started? Specifically, if it's a company that you started, you want to leave a legacy. You want to leave a legacy for your children. You want to make an impact. But who are you training to take that over? Who are you training to step into your place and be able to do the things that you are able to do? Who are you training to make sure that your legacy lives on, that it's not just one and done? Hey everyone, John here. I wanted to jump on and quickly talk about my Kickstart the New Year Challenge. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you got a lot of irons in the fire and you're not really progressing, you're not getting anywhere, maybe you feel lost. I know I did. And over the past decade, I have been working on a coaching program to help myself, and now I want to give it to you. Head on over to thejohnespinosa.com, sign up. You're not going to want to miss it. You owe it to yourself to kickstart the new year. Get going now. Don't wait till January 1 when everybody else is going. Get ahead of the game. You owe it to yourself. You have to delegate. Delegate where is necessary. And what I mean there is anything that doesn't require your immediate attention, or maybe you need supplemental information in order to make a decision, an informed decision, delegate that. Put somebody on getting the data. Put somebody on the report. Allow others to make decisions where appropriate. Now, ultimately, you as the leader are still going to be responsible for that decision, but it helps to let others make decisions, at least in that moment, so that piece is solved. Now, they're informed decisions, and you trust these individuals to make the decisions, but decisions need to be made, and you can't make all of them at that time, so delegate those decisions down. So those are my top 4. 30 minutes of self-development, 30 minutes of sweat, reviewing your goals daily, and then last but not least, connecting with 3 people. Now, for you, your non-negotiables could be totally different, right? They could be centered around any goal or any task or daily, maybe, duty or just whatever, you want to do in a day. It could be simple. The goal of it is those day-to-day tasks eventually turn into habits. Rule number 1, maintain positive intent. How are you going to maintain positive intent? Make sure that you're writing out specific examples around you maintaining that positive intent. Number 2, what are your interests? Make sure, again, write those things out. Interested in inclusive workplace is one of the examples that I've given. Interested in communicating our differences is another example that I would write down on my sheet of paper before going into the conversation. And then state your values towards achieving the goal. What is the outcome? What are you looking for? And then ask good questions. And I think that is wove in between or within the conversation itself. I always jot down at least 1 or 2 questions. Identify the purpose of your meeting right up front. The second one is the process. How are you going to conduct that meeting? Is it going to be a weekly go around where you're going to call on each person to provide updates? Is it more of a discussion session where you present the agenda topics and then you call on the experts to discuss? Is it a brainstorming session? So you want people to bring ideas. You're going to present a challenge, you're going to present a problem, and you're going to brainstorm a solution. So that brings me to my third one. So there's 1, purpose. 2, what's the process? How's the meeting going to run? And 3, what preparation do they need? So back to the brainstorming session. If they need to bring ideas to the meeting for a brainstorming session, you better let them know up front that they're going to have to do that. Because if you don't, now you got to give them a little bit of time. If they're like me, I'm a processor. It takes me a little bit to get going and to generate some ideas on a topic. You're going to have folks on your team that are like that. So let them know up front. If they have to review a document and then you're expecting some feedback from that document, you better give them up front. They got to read that document prior to coming in the meeting. If people don't come away with a sense of empowerment and the fact that they had it inside them, they had that special strength, that special skill inside them the whole entire time, you're not doing your job as a coach. So make sure that we're asking good questions and we allow others to find the answers in themselves, and then go be great. I mean, I always tell people that just because you finished a coaching session or you are a coach doesn't mean you stop learning there. Always be a constant learner. Make sure that you're out there, identifying trends, whether it's listening to podcasts, it's reading books, it's listening to others, it's being around like-minded people, it's getting in the room with those people that are either coaching or have a leadership mindset. That is very important to also do as we develop ourselves and we grow in our career field. And I'm going to leave you with this. We're in the business of coaching and our job is never done. And that's something that you need to take great responsibility on, because people are watching. Whether you think they are or not, I can promise you that others are watching, and they're watching the good and they're watching the bad. So it is a great responsibility to label yourself a coach. Don't take that for granted. Take that with great pride. Not everybody's going to process that information at the same rate. So they may need a little time to develop their thoughts. They may need time to hear what others are thinking, where they're going. And the whole entire time that that's happening, and I've been in boardrooms when I can see it, where they're looking at the leader, they're turning towards them, and they're looking for approval from you as the leader. So it's important for you not to have a poker face, but sit back and just listen. Work on your culture. Ask yourself, how can I make my culture better? Be that change agent. Be that person that encourages. Be that positive light within your team, within your community, within your organization. And I promise you, people are watching. They may not see you or tell you immediately, month, 2 months, 3 months down the road, but they are watching. They're watching those that are out there leading the way, that are remaining positive, that are not afraid to have those difficult conversations, and that make others feel valued, included, and in the end, help others get to where they're going. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Couldn't do this without you. I told you I would start with one listener and we grow from there. And we're growing. We're growing this leadership team, and we're going to carry each other along on the leadership journey. The best is yet to come. I promise you that. I promise you. Go be great.